Okay, so in Swedish schools, we're taught to put an unconscious person in a certain position that maximizes circulation. Today I'm gonna tell you about a health hack that the greatest Roman emperor ever used, and that I've used for 4 years now, that has completely transformed my life. When I was younger, I generally had a hard time falling asleep. I mean, I'd lay down in the bed and then my face would overheat and a part of the pillow would overheat. So I'd go to the other side of the pillow and then my face would overheat again. So I switched the pillow over, tried to sleep, face overheated, throw the pillow on the ground, and then I slept without a pillow. Yeah, that sometimes happened. And especially during my teenage years, I had a really hard time falling asleep. But that was not the biggest problem. When I actually woke up, I felt like crap. I felt really bad. Today, however, I sleep really well, and I want you to sleep really well. So watch the entire video so that you can know what to do. Before we start talking about the health hack, you have to know about something. To influence your sleep, you can do two things. You can change the environment that you sleep in, and you can improve your health. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll cover yourself from a health perspective. I've got plenty of videos showing you what to do. But what should you do about the environment that you sleep in? To answer the question, I'd like to introduce you to one of the greatest men who ever lived, using a quote that I got from Ryan Holiday. If you now care about the marches and counter-marches of the Roman commanders, what the centuries have clung to is a notebook of thoughts by a man whose real life was largely unknown, who put down in the midnight dimness not the events of the day or the plans of the morrow, but something of far more permanent interest, the ideals and aspirations that a rare spirit lived by. Brand Blanchard. This quote is referring to this book right here, The Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD. He is said to have loved philosophy, and many people consider him to be a philosopher, one of the most important Stoic philosophers. When he was younger, he was really into, Greek philosophers. He was during his entire lifetime, I guess, but when he was younger, he really admired them. So he slept on the floor and he wore, robes. You see, Marcus slept on the floor for spiritual and philosophical reasons, but I sleep on the floor for health reasons. And it might not be obvious as to why sleeping on the floor is more healthy than sleeping in a bed. But after watching, this section of the video, it will be very clear to you. You see, when you sleep in a bed, your center of gravity, so around your butt, is gonna sink lower than the rest of your body. This means that it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back or your front or your side. Your spine will always be out of alignment if you sleep in a regular bed. Although there aren't any studies talking about the benefits of sleeping on the floor, I'm still here. I can still give you my experience. I used to have neck pain. I used to get, the thing where your neck twitches and your head is like this all the time, and then whenever you turn it to this side, it twitches again and it hurts really bad. I used to have that a lot. When I started sleeping on the floor, all of that went away. And ever since then, the frequency of, straining my neck has gone down considerably. I also used to have back problems from working out incorrectly. All of that went away. It healed by itself when I started sleeping on the floor. Even back then when I used to go to the gym, I remember that when I slept on the floor, it was much easier on my back than when I was in the bed. I've been able to fall asleep more easily. I've been able to not overheat at all. My temperature regulation is much better when I'm on the floor. It feels much more comfortable. I have more space. I can spread out my legs however I want. And the ideal sleeping position is easier to maintain. At the end of the video, I'll show you the right side to sleep on, the exact position that I go for, and if you need a pillow or not. There's still more to talk about. There's a thing called the Glymphatic System, which ensures that the debris that your brain creates when it's working is flushed out. This happens during sleep, and it has been shown that it is most effective, at least in rats, when they sleep on their side. And it is easier to maintain the side position when you sleep on the floor. Generally, when you see a pattern in nature, it is wise to follow it. And the pattern we see in animals and humans living in nature is that they prefer to sleep on their side. And science is backing this up. Just to throw it out there, I mean, we've existed for 200 to 300,000 years, and we've only had beds for not a long time, at least not modern beds. So we've generally slept on hard surfaces. And hey, if it works for the greatest man who ever lived, your ancestors, and the guy you're seeing on the screen, then you should do it, right? But how do you do it? Well, I'll show you. Okay, so in Swedish schools, we're taught to put an unconscious person in a certain position that maximizes circulation. So I thought, why don't I sleep in that position? Because then I'm maximizing circulation, right? So I'm gonna show you that position now. First, you pick a side. I prefer the right side because then, or I think everyone should sleep on the right side, because then, if you look at the stomach, food travels sort of like this, and then down here, and then it's emptied over here. So if you want gravity to work for you, not against you, then you should sleep on your right side. And generally I hear less gurgling when I sleep on the right side. And if you haven't noticed that, try it out, and I think it will be more comfortable. Okay, so first you put your top hand below your head, you put your top knee on the ground, then you stretch your other arm in front of you, and your back leg can go with wherever it wants. Now, this is the position I basically go to every time I go to sleep. If I wake up during the night, I automatically revert to that position if I'm outside of it, and I don't think I can fall asleep unless I'm in that exact position, because I've conditioned myself to sleep in that position. And I think this is the absolute best sleeping position because of 1, circulation, and 2, glymphatic function. Now yes, I do use bed sheets, but I do not use a pillow. I only use my hand. I put my hand on my temple and the rest of my face is in the air. Why is this superior to a pillow? Because of 2 reasons. The pillow messes up your face because it puts pressure on your teeth and your jaw. And if you look at forums where they talk about orthotropics or improving your face structure, they've noted that the side you sleep on is generally less developed. Now for me, that's the case. These teeth, and I've slept on the right side of my face since childhood, these teeth buckle inward, and this bone right here, the maxilla, protrudes more over here than over here. And it was only when I started sleeping on my side and on my hand around here that my neck issues completely went away. Okay, now this will become 3 reasons, but the thing is, the circulation around your head is so much greater when you don't use a pillow that your face won't overheat. One of the greatest men who ever lived slept on the floor. I've slept on the floor for 4 years and it has completely transformed my life. So what are you waiting for? Go and sleep on the floor, because you'll never know about the benefits if you don't try it. I know that this channel is small, I know that we don't have many subscribers, but if you haven't already subscribed, let me tell you this. You matter. Your subscription matters, and I want you to be a part of the community. Whether you're subscribed or not, your presence is incredibly valued by everyone. If you like the video, hit the like button. Share it with someone that needs it. When preparing for this video, I watched the Daily Stoics video about how to read the meditations, so Ryan Holiday, and I also watched What I've Learned's video about the best sleeping position. And with that said, go and achieve excellent health. I know you can do it.